So my name's Gary King. I've spent, since 1993, I've traveled all over the world and done presentations every place you could imagine, including in the Dublin, Ireland men's maximum security prison and the women's prison in Dublin. I worked in the schools in Myanmar. I spoke at University of California, San Diego for 12 years. And basically what I've done is I've studied psychology, I've studied human behavior, and why do people behave the way they behave? Why do they do the things they do? So from all that, my first book was called The Happiness Formula, released in 2016. So I wanted to expand on that so that I could put in writing what it took me most of my lifetime to figure out, sort out, and rise above, because my life is not explainable. I tell people sometimes who relate to baseball in the old days, my life is like Babe Ruth, the very famous baseball player. He held the all-time home run record, and he held the all-time strikeout record both at the same time. He held both world records at the same time. So I wrote this book called The Happiness Experiment. Now, what I discovered traveling all over the world is all humans, I don't care who you are, you could be the richest person in the world, and all of them are doing the same thing. It's a constant experiment. If I just get this much more, I'll reach that place. Well, then they reach that place, they get the 2 private jets, I need another one. And so it's a never-ending thing. And so I wrote this book. It took 4 years to write, right? There's 93,000 words in this book. The first third of it's autobiographical, so that you would understand how many times I climbed Mount Everest and how I survived the climb, what I learned from the climb, okay? What I learned from continuously climbing Mount Everest, which leads me to a really old story. So there's a man, his life is a mess. That was me, okay? My life was a mess. And the man was told, there's a guru, and he lives on the top of that mountain over there, and he's got all the answers. He has every answer. So the man started climbing the mountain. He climbed and he fell. He climbed and he fell. He climbed and he fell. Months are going by. At some point he changed his mind and decided to go back down. Then he changed his mind, decided to go back up. So this goes on for like 10 or 11 months. He finally gets to the top. He finds the guru. He's cut up. He's bruised. He's broken. He's a total mess. He sits down in front of the guru and says, "Oh my God, I'm so glad I'm here. I was told that you have all the answers for me to have a happy life." The guru looks at him and says, "The next time you come to see me, take the tram on the back side of the mountain. It takes 10 minutes. Okay, so that analogy is representative of climbing the mountain. Could be climbing the career path to get to the top of the career path. Well, what's at the top of the career path? Another top of another career path. That's what's there. Now, in my lifetime, I've worked with a lot of celebrities. I don't need to share the names with you. I've worked with the richest women in the world and some of the most powerful men in the world. And I can tell you this, and I did it for a long time, 25 years. I can tell you this for sure. All of them were unhappy and they were hiding it. And how did I know that? Well, because I worked on the back side of the curtain and they operated on the front side of the curtain. So, image, anybody could create an image. Anybody. I mean, it's not hard to create an image. But you see, if you create an image and the image is not who you are, you'll never, ever, ever find the 10-minute tram, which is called happiness. You'll never find it. You just keep climbing the mountain and falling down and getting back up. Don't do that. I found a better way. And it worked. And I wrote about it in this book. Yeah, the book's available on Amazon. You can get it anywhere in the world. And this is what I can tell you. The people that have read this book, that have communicated with me, most of them have said, once I started reading it, I couldn't put it down. Well, I wrote it that way. I purposely wrote it that way. And then they said, I read it and I'm not the same person anymore. Yes, that's why I wrote it. So that you would be happy and stop experimenting with everything you see outside of you. I need one of those. I need one of those. Well, go ahead. Yes, I once lived in a 5,000 square foot house on the water with a yacht. I don't live that way anymore because it was a giant frustration of epic proportion.